Welcome to the family here on Purple Mafia. I'm your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awijan. Purple Mafia is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today, though unfortunately the circumstances once again are incredibly disappointing, but we'll get into all the details as the Minnesota Vikings lose by 10 on Thursday Night Football to the Los Angeles Rams in the City of Angels.
Are you kidding me? It's not his ball. Gets better. I mean, are you serious? You gotta. Here we go. God. Oh, what? Come on.
Oh, what a frustrating game. Oh, the oh, the humanity of it all. Oh, the calls that didn't go our way. Oh, the terrible luck of all the weapons for the LA Rams magically coming back just in time for this game. So totally figures. Yeah, and they all were a factor at the end of the day, every damn one of them. Plus the fact Matthew Stafford has always been a Vikings killer, going way back early into his Detroit days, at the beginning of his career. Flashing on the screen right now is Timberwolves and Kings, because this is his Thursday night when I'm recording segment number 1. You'll notice the show, as I talked about earlier, on the last episode, that I will be releasing the show at the standard time, so I can talk about all the upcoming, I could talk about the NFL Roundup, all that cute stuff, NFC North Roundup, and of course previewing the Colts game, which has been flexed to 7:20 p.m. Sunday night, much to my chagrin, even though it's cool to be on national television, but I don't know. What's the Vikings' history on national television? Not the best. Heck, what was it tonight? Was it good? Was it good? No, it wasn't good. But, well, yay, we get national attention against a crappy Colts team, so that's cute and everything. I like the nooners better. It's a lot easier to do this show. It really is, especially as we head into cleanup season. It's going to be even harder now, but, well, it is what it is. So if I sound like I'm kind of semi-whispering, I kind of semi-am, and trying to be close enough to the mic and all that so you can hear me pretty good because my wife is sleeping. Vikings lose 30 to 20 to the Los Angeles Rams, who are now 3-4 and kind of sort of back in the playoff picture. The best thing about the Rams in their house is the beautiful color scheme, I guess, in their end zone. It looks like the classic Rams back in the old days. I really like that look. I'm not going to lie. Like when the Rams first moved back to LA, and I was always talking about that. So, yeah, I like the good old days. I'm sorry, I just do. I don't necessarily like the LA Rams a whole lot. But Vikings obviously very impressive opening drive as the Rams deferred the ball to Minnesota. Darnold, a perfect start. In fact, perfect first quarter. Quarterback rating perfect to that 156.3. It was a perfect quarterback rating. He still finished with 128.8. 18 of 25, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no grape jelly stain. No interception or fumble, so good for Sam Darnold. He was actually pretty damn good in the game. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. So he's not J.J. McCarthy in his prime, which hopefully is coming someday. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Weird rumors this past week about Matthew Stafford, possibly the Rams, possibly trading for Sam Darnold, and I'm sure picks or some other thing to go with, but so they can kind of get younger at the quarterback position, seeing that Sam Darnold does have a future as a starter quarterback in this league. Franchise quarterback, I don't know, but he's a starting quarterback. He sure looks like it now. And Matthew Stafford for the Vikings to try to go for it all, that type of thing. Well, if he came to Minnesota and played like he did tonight, it'd be pretty good. So it'd be pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings again tonight, as in when I'm recording segment number 1, Thursday Night Football. Kyren Williams, yep, fortunately on my fantasy team, what an awesome player. Didn't get in the end zone as a running back, but got in there as a receiver early on in the game. But yes, Cupp and Puka Nacua, who's bigger than I remember. God, that guy's a tough son of a blank. He's a headache to play against. But yeah, both Puka Nacua and Cupp return. So basically all Stafford had was Kyren Williams as a running back. He's a fantastic player, by the way. Cam Akers didn't even get in the game against his former team, so I'm kind of sad, disappointed about that. Why not? He should have gotten something. My gosh, they didn't even use Ty Chandler in the game. It's like, what the hell? They didn't use Cam Akers. 19 rushes for Aaron Jones, and then Darnold had a couple rushes and all that, 5-yard gain basically. Could have ran for a first down, but then threw the ball to Jalen Naylor, who looked like an idiot on the play, just dropped it. It was pathetic. not expecting the pass, but you're a receiver. You should be expecting a pass. You're a receiver. That's your job. Just like you complain at kickers, you have one job, make a kick. Well, receivers, catch the ball. You know, I mean, it might not have been the greatest pass in the history of the world, but it certainly was catchable. And this game is filled with, you know, this feels like a classic Minnesota Vikings playoff game after an unbelievable season, and you're just left with, you know, like things that can keep you awake at night. Like, if only this happened, if only that happened, if only we weren't stupid and didn't hit the guy in the head, you know, illegal hands to the face, that kind of crap. It's just one stupid ass penalty after another. The refs were fine. It was just poor execution. Defensively, the defense was garbage, I have to say. The offense was good early and kind of got weaker and weaker as the game progressed. Every time you thought maybe something might happen, then not a whole lot did after that. An amazing statistic that I think deserves more credit than it may even get. Justin Jefferson already has more 100-yard games in his career with the Minnesota Vikings since his whole career has been with Minnesota so far than Randy Moss did with the Minnesota Vikings. So that's pretty fascinating when you consider how young Justin Jefferson still is in a lot of ways. And Randy Moss's ego was so obnoxious and frustrating, it made me not like him very much in the end. Like, I don't know, especially his second stint here. It's like, you know, any fandom I had for Moss when he came back to Minnesota was completely gone after that because of his crappy attitude. It was just too much. So, yeah. Anyhow, it was cool to see Trent Sherfield, who had a really nice preseason, catch a touchdown from Sam Darnold on one of the big drives that kept the Vikings in the game and kept things going in the right direction. Will Reichard made both of his kicks, unfortunately both pretty close, because those were drives that probably should have resulted in touchdowns if not for poor execution down the stretch. Either stupid-ass effing penalties. Yeah, I know, I'm really pissed. Can you tell? I'm sure you're pissed too. Like illegal procedure here. Even Justin Jefferson was guilty of some of that. Illegal procedure. False starts, holding. It's just one stupid ass thing after another, and it just drove you nuts. Stephon Gilmore had a absolutely crucial pass interference penalty that ended up leading to a touchdown right after, pretty much. Just, you know, enough to drive you absolutely nuts. And again, like I said, both of Will Reichard's kicks, great. I'm glad he made them. You know, thank you. They're wonderful kicks. You know, you're a great kicker. You know, you have a wonderful future in this league. But you know, those should have been touchdown drives, if not for poor execution. One of them was a Jalen Naylor deal. Just absolutely bleeping frustrating beyond human recognition. Pardon me. Another stat, this is an urban legend. This is the urban legend of the week, because I've kind of abandoned that, and I need to get it back again. You know how there's like Ernie's Nito stat of the night, that's what, inside the NBA. For me, it's like an urban legend. If it's like a crazy stat or just some kind of weird fact that's like, what the hell? That kind of stuff. No sacks on a 36-year-old quarterback named Matthew Stafford, who had rookie linemen. And I know you've heard this already, but still, it's an urban legend. I'm sorry. It's an urban legend. I should come up with some kind of soundbite. Yep, Ivan Pace had the illegal hands to the... No, it was a face mask. It was a crucial face mask on Matthew Stafford when we had a stop. We had a stop, and then there's a face mask. And then what happens? Guess what? Rams drive stays alive. Rhyme not intended. And what happened during that drive? Guess what? A touchdown. That's kind of how this defense has been. It looks like you finally have a stop, and then you screw up somewhere, and then they wind up with a frickin' touchdown. And it's just the way it's been. Julius Randle, what a great game. Julius Randle's it's his second game with the Timberwolves, and a hell of a lot better than his debut against the Lakers. Timberwolves explosion, check it out sometime if you like basketball. Of course, that's a foul. You just breathe and it's a foul. God, I hate that. Anyhow, so many opportunities for the Vikings to get to Matthew Stafford, including on a touchdown pass. Should have been a sack. And they just, Jonathan Grenard did not wrap the flipping guy up. It just didn't happen. It just never happened. So that's enough to drive somebody absolutely crazy. Yeah, there's somebody I'm looking at, his name. Initials DT. He has been a massive disappointment so far. You can kind of guess who the initials are. DT. I'm frustrated with him so far. Great First game versus the Giants, but since then, I don't know. It's like who are you? You know, who are you? You know, that stupid song. Okay, it's not that bad. Wait a minute, wasn't that done by Hall & Oates? No, it's a great song then, because if Hall & Oates did it, it is good. Sorry, I know, I'm just messing around. I'm just in a mood right now. And, you know, and the Wolves were getting smoked by the Kings, but now, thankfully, they're ahead. Please don't blow it. Don't be like the Vikings. Oh, my God. What was that? What kind of pass was that? Oh, right when I said it. See how that works? See how that works? Right when I say it, something stupid happens. You son of a... Anyhow, yeah, Byron Murphy Jr. had an interception that it looked like, again, it was going to be a turnaround point of the game, and the Vikings only get a field goal out of it. Yeah, I know, I'm still swearing. Big interception, though, by Byron Murphy Jr. It's like the one big defensive play in this game that may have turned things, and then ultimately it did not. So, much to our chagrin. Also, again, the insane frustration of, well, there's a couple of things we can get to. Blake Cashman being out back-to-back weeks, and it's like we just don't know how to tackle because he's not there. I don't know why that is. It's kind of lame and doesn't make any sense. Well, Blake Cashman has led the team in tackles pretty much most of the year, but it's still frustrating. God, what a lucky roll. Still frustrating beyond belief. Okay, it wasn't lucky, but it's still annoying. Yeah, I mean, Blake Cashman, you got to have some, I don't know. I mean, him being out sucks and everything, but I mean, you figure somebody else could step up and the defense would be somewhat representative, but it really hasn't been of like, it was, man, great shot, sorry. But yeah, insanely frustrating, to say the least. That it's just we haven't tackled worth a bleep. Obviously, the Rams offense is way better with Puka, Nacua, and of course, Super Bowl MVP Cooper Cupp, who was like basically league MVP level. Yeah, God. So, that's where the frustration comes in, and then magically Matthew Stafford remembers how to play. I mean, he threw 3 touchdown passes the first, 6 games of the season, and he threw 4 tonight. Like, what more can you say about that? Of course he did. Of course Matthew Stafford threw 4 touchdown passes. He threw 3 the whole flippin' season. Do you realize how crappy and mediocre that is? He threw 3. Because Kyren Williams is the guy getting in the end zone every time anyway. He scored his 10th touchdown of the year, by the way, which is freaking amazing. 10 touchdowns, 9 rushing, 8 rushing and 2 receiving now. He had 1 receiving coming into the game, and he got the 2nd receiving touchdown. 10 touchdowns already, and it's week 8, so spectacular numbers for Mr. Kyren Williams of the Los Angeles Rams. So the Vikings go from 5-0 to 5-2. I don't think Kevin O'Connell is going to go and call the offensive line soft, but he might as well call the defensive line soft. Maybe that's what's really happening. You got they're soft maybe, and then the whole then the team starts to kind of turn on him a little bit, which is what kind of happened that year. People were pretty pissed actually at Zimmer after that one, if you don't remember. Crazy, I think that's 8 whole years ago. Man, that's back in the day already, and. Gosh, isn't that depressing? That's how long it's been since Teddy Bridgewater was quarterback of the Vikings. It's a long time ago, man. It's a long time. 9 years since he was the main starter, to be quite honest. Ryan Wright had a great game, averaged 50 yards a punt, and all 3 of them were in the 20. Isn't that great? So good for him. But bottom line, my God, what a frustrating overall night. Jihad Ward had a stupid penalty, if I remember correctly, or am I getting him mixed up with someone else? Either way, Gilmore, that big one. Pace had a big one. And multiple opportunities to make sacks that just never happened again. That would have been huge plays to stop the drive, and one of them ended up being a touchdown. It was a 3rd and goal. The Rams would have had to settle for a field goal, but no, couldn't get the sack. No, impossible to do against a 36-year-old non-mobile quarterback. Just can't do it. And that was the... that was the story. Frustration beyond belief. Absolutely frustrating. But again, Sam Darnold, very representative in the game. I mean, all the respect to him. He did great. Aaron Jones had some nice plays, but overall, the offense just kind of sputtered after a great start from him. Only 3.1 yards a carry. That's, the opposite of technical football. It really is. Justin Jefferson, 115 yards. He would have had a sure touchdown if he didn't, if he didn't fall. Everybody was looking for a flag, but it turned out he just simply fell. Justin Jefferson, so insanely frustration there. If it's incidental contact, something like that. And again, the defense to me is the root of frustration right now, even though the offense was kind of mediocre. I mean, only 20 points. Only 20 points. It's a decent defense, but without the leader and the superstar Hall of Fame guy in Aaron Donald anymore. He's retired, of course. I don't know. I mean, only 20 points. It's just not enough. And the defense not getting off the field didn't help either. And again, the offense kind of sputtering didn't help the defense. And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like in Castlevania 1 in the Axe Knight level, where you can't, you have like 3 different things happening at once. You're trying to hit the knights that take 9 hits. They throw axes at 2 levels, so you got to dodge the axes while you're trying to hit the knight. And then you have these obnoxious Medusa heads that fly in an up-down angle, or in an up-down pattern, like wavy pattern. You're trying to do like 3 things at once, and each and every one of them are kind of killing you as you go. And that's kind of what today felt like. The defense can't get any rest because the offense, gets stopped too quickly and 3 and out. But then the offense can't get anything going because the defense can't get off the field. And it's just driving you crazy. You just can't get a first down and you can't get a stop. And the next thing you know, you're down by, X amount of points. You're down by 3, you're down by 10, and then you just fail miserably and you get a safety. At the end of the game, a controversial non-call where it looked like a clear face mask and it was not called. Kevin O'Connell was losing his mind, understandably. Sam Darnold was face masked on the final play of the game, and final play that meant anything anyway. Because victory formation and all that bullcrap, who cares? Especially if it's the other team. But it was frustrating beyond human recognition that call wasn't made. But generally speaking, you can't really get mad at the refs except for that one. And of course, again, it was the one that at the end of the day mattered the most in terms of, keeping the Vikings alive. It wouldn't have given the Vikings the game, but it cost us a chance to possibly continue a drive. The fact that first downs were not achieved anywhere near before that is also frustrating beyond belief. Fran Tarkington Award winner for this episode is Justin Jefferson, except for that stupid fall. He had one of the plays of the year. Down the stretch, it was freaking awesome. It was a great play. But overall, again, it figures that he fell, though, so that kind of sucked. The Tristan Ponder Memorial, it could go all over the place. I mean, Jalen Naylor deserves strong consideration. That was an awful drop on a sure first down. Jordan Addison has just not been a factor, and it's extremely frustrating. 2 catches, 22 yards. That's not enough. It's just not enough. It's just not. The stupid defense by the stupid penalty by Ivan Pace Jr. He almost had a second one. He did lead the team in tackles, and yes, there was a huge roughing the passer penalty last week, even though Pace led the team in tackles, and I still gave him the Fran Tarkington Award. He's not getting it this week. I don't think I'm going to give him the Ponder, though, but man, if he had a second penalty, would have been like another roughing the passer, I probably would have considered giving it to him, and it would have probably been well-deserved, unfortunately. Is there an individual player, or is it just kind of the defense as a whole for just not showing up and just kind of playing tired and bored, or not bored, but tired and not really being anything special out there? The lack of pass rush is just enough to drive a person crazy. Blake Cashman pisses me off by not coming back, but of course it's a turf toe, and that's a huge thing that can drive you crazy. It just freaking figures when something like that happens, and then your defense just sucks when it was one of the best defenses in the league for 5 weeks. Sounds like 2016, doesn't it? Best defense in the league for 5 weeks, and then what the hell happened after that? Screw you when you're ticky-tack foul. Anyhow, the penalties, absolutely just ridiculous, stupid. Like every time you have anything going, you screw it up. You screw it up. Yeah, screw it up. Sorry. for the almost F-bomb there. I'm going to give it to Naylor, I guess, because he's the closest thing to just being pathetic. He was pathetic last week, too. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I think he had a pathetic play last week that was frustrating. He actually was decent last week. He had like 73 yards, but today, like, I don't know what that was. It's like, what are you doing out there? I think Addison and Naylor, two guys that could have been a factor in today's game, just freaking weren't at all. Like, thanks for letting us down in multiple opportunities, just simply not getting open in Jordan Addison's case. People are kind of wondering what's going on. But yeah, Naylor, that was pathetic. I kind of want to give it to both of them, even though the defense deserves every damn Christian Ponder Memorial you can throw out there. But it's hard to really go after one individual guy. One other major thing that I'll probably talk about when there's an update in the next segment is Christain Darrisaw was out at the end of the half. Had an injury like in the final drive of the half that looked like a knee injury. Wasn't obviously something that was like going to be a catastrophic thing, and he's out for the year. But he couldn't finish the game for sure. You know, there was no way, the way he was leaving the game, he wasn't going to be able to finish it. So then, how long is he out? I guess we'll talk about that later, unfortunately. So, at the time I'm recording this first segment, the injury had not been updated yet, unless I could dig and look quickly. But, I mean, if he's out for the year, well, cancel your Super Bowl tickets, because that ain't happening. It simply says, with knee injury, ruled out with knee injury, And he's only 25 years of age, which is nice. Lose that tackle with knee injury, ruled out, So it's nothing immediate that I can see. The Christain Darrisaw injury update will determine how quickly I bounce back from this game. Okay, that's just a regular tweeter out there. So it's just kind of ruled out in the game. So it's not like, oh boy. Yeah, and it also looked and sounded like an ankle injury at the time as well. So is it knee or ankle? But it looks like everybody says knee. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was knee at first, and then they're like, oh no, it's ankle, and then I don't know. So nothing immediate going on with Christain Darrisaw that I can see. Oh, I hate when this does this. I hate it. It's like going to the wrong profile. And I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it sucks, and it more than sucks. I mean, you don't want to lose Christain Darrisaw at all. You don't want to even lose him for just the Colts game. I do think Quisenberry is a decent backup. Like, we're lucky to have him. But obviously, you know, one of the best tackles in the NFL, if not the best left tackle on the planet. It's a little different than Dan Quisenberry, who was a decent tackle, a really nice backup. You know, we appreciate the heck out of him. But, yeah. So, yeah, Ted Glover, how can the Vikings defense go from so good to so bad so quickly? It's not all Blake Cashman. I agree. No, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, the face mask call, yeah, or non-call, excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. That is a massive face mask. Holy shit. Yeah, it's just like, you know, every time you see it, you just can't believe how bad it was. So it's like, the fact that that wasn't called is embarrassing. So it's like, yeah, it's embarrassing, like, so bad. And yes, dude, I know it was a face mask, but dude, throw the ball. Yep, that's Phil Mackey. Like, he's annoyed that Darnold took too long. Yep, I feel you. Yep. Well, the Twitter is not filled with Darrisaw's out for the year talk or ACL, so you're not hearing any of that. Paul Lambert, Meat Sauce, says Dallas Turner is a bust. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. Dallas Turner is a bust right now. Yep, he hasn't done a thing. He hasn't done anything. Dallas Turner is a bust. I agree, Paul Lambert. Yep. Of course, he's not listening to me, I'm sure. But I don't listen to their show either. I don't like the Power Trip. It's garbage. But anyhow, with that said, yes, Le'Veon Bell, I agree with you. Nudge, nudge. So anybody that knows anything, yes, I agree with Le'Veon Bell. Anyhow, with that said, those are your that's your review for now. We will come back, look at the rest of the league, preview the Colts, and go from there. And we are back here on Purple Mafia, segment number 2. Time to look around the league, the NFC North, and our upcoming game with the Indianapolis Colts. Last time we played them, it was a pretty interesting matchup. Yeah, pretty interesting undertaking, and you already know that. Anyhow, there was this Thursday night football game. You know how there's Thursday night games every week, and I always start off with that. Okay, I already reviewed that in the first segment. Monday Night Football is, well, I'd like it to be flashing on the screen right now. For some reason, there's about 9 billion commercials. It's late in the first quarter. It's 3-0 San Francisco over the, whatever the Cowboys are. Monday Night Football will feature the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. Sounds like a Super Bowl years and years ago, but it wasn't. The Cincinnati Bengals went to Philadelphia, where they flew high. Christian McCaffrey still sidelined apparently, but I guess they have Mason Jordan, so good for old Mace there. San Francisco's wearing the uniforms they wore in '94, which are also super retro. They were retro in '94 when they won the Super Bowl with Steve Young at the helm. They had those white numbers with the black background and those reddish stripes on those very white shorts instead of gold pants. Not shorts, pants. 49ers, looking a bit like the 94 Niners when they won the Super Bowl. And they beat the Cowboys in the NFC title game pretty handily in that one. I remember that very much and enjoyed it thoroughly. San Francisco's 3-4. The Dallas Cowboys are 3-3. Okay, anyhow, the Bengals they did host Philadelphia. The Bengals suck, and it's really sad, because I like the Bengals, but they suck. 37-17, Philadelphia is back in the his-outs, and it's safe to say that. This was a fairly close football game for a while. In fact, it was 10-3. It was 7-0 Cincinnati. It was 7-3 Cincinnati, and it was 10-3 Cincinnati. And after that, it was kind of like the 2017 season's version of the NFC Championship game. It was kind of like that. It was like, it's that current score is kind of like meaningless compared to what the final score is going to be. Yeah, Philadelphia just went absolutely berserk after that. Cincinnati did muster one more touchdown. Chase Brown was able to get into the end zone. Good for him. And Mr. McPherson was able to get his extra point. I'm sure we're all excited about the extra point conversation. Jake the Snake Elliott, no relation to Jake the Snake, the wrestler, at least I don't think so. Made a couple of field goals, one from 49, one from 47. Jalen Hurts put hurt on the Bengals by running the ball in and also hitting Devonta Smith on a 45-yarder. Jalen Hurts also ran the ball in 2 other times, which is crazy. So exquisite fantasy football numbers for Mr. Jalen Hurts. Extremely efficient, 20 attempts, 16 completions, quarterback rating of 132.5, a touchdown completed, but also, again, ran the ball in thrice. 3 times. That's a lot. Joe Burrow looks a lot like Jake Browning. He looks a lot more like Jake Browning last year. It's not the same. Not the same this year, and it's depressing. Cincinnati is pretty much right where they were last year, just kind of average to below average, and it's kind of sad. Kind of sucks. I'm happy to see Philadelphia playing better. I know a Viking fan talking about Philadelphia, Viking fan, Viking podcast host who's been a Viking fan his whole life, but I'm not the rah-rah fan. Those days are long gone, especially since becoming a podcaster. I'd like to be a little more objective than that, even though, big playoff games, maybe the objectivity might fade a little bit on occasion. Saquon Barkley, 108 yards on the ground. But no, yes, just happy for the Eagles in general. You know what I mean? As a football fan, I guess you can say. A fan of the game, so to speak. It's kind of sad to see such an extremely talented football team fall on their face as bad as they did last year. So that's kind of why I'm okay with Philadelphia playing well, all right? And plus, remember, I got a soft spot for the Eagles because they were the team I was rooting for versus the Chiefs. Kind of like this team with this very dark midnight blue main color, along with this white NY that goes way back in the day to about the early 1900s at the very least. You know that team? I'm actually cheering for them over the Dodgers. That's right. That's how much I despise the LA Dodgers. Because the Dodgers are everything we despised about the Yankees years ago. I may have mentioned this in the first segment. But the Dodgers are everything I despise about the New York Yankees. When it comes to Oh, well, the Shohei Ohtani's a free agent. Signed. Oh, we need a first baseman. Freddie Freeman, right after the Braves won the World Series, and he was there forever, and they finally won a World Series again, and Freddie Freeman was so good. Yeah, Freddie Freeman's going to the Dodgers now. It's like, get out of here. I'm tired of this bull crap. We need a third, was it first baseman? Jason Giambi, that's what I hated about the Yankees. We need a pitcher, Roger Clemens. Get out of here. We need a second baseman, Chuck Knobloch, when actually Knobloch was good before he became a mental case when he went to the Yankees. At the time, Knobloch was the best second baseman in the league. Think about it. So that's what I hated about the Yankees. And you know what the Dodgers are? Exactly what I hated about the Yankees back then. I got sick of it. Like, come on. And that's exactly what the Dodgers have become. This guy that just won the World Series with the Boston Red Sox, elite baseball team, and blah, blah, blah. And I know the Red Sox are another big buck team, and I know the Yankees are an extremely big buck team, but they're kind of back to what I liked about the Yankees in '96. Like, mostly just smart free agent signings. Not cheap ones, but smart. Not cheap or anything, but not like the guy, like the elite player, the most expensive possible free agent, and really good drafting. Yeah. But anyhow, let's get out of there, because Jeter was actually a draft pick by the Yankees, so they didn't sign him as a free agent. He was a draft pick. Believe it or not. Same with Aaron Judge today. Anyhow, the Bengals got whooped. The Brown Bowl. Well, the brown bags put the contents of the brown bag all over the Baltimore Ravens today, especially, in the third and fourth quarter. The brown bags, the Cleveland Brown Bags won in the Brown Bowl. The Cleveland Brown Bowl, because the Baltimore Ravens used to be the original Cleveland Browns. Remember? Those of you that are old enough. And then the replacement Cleveland Browns, the Brown Bags. Franchise who hasn't done anything, basically, except that one year with Baker when they got to the second round and almost beat the Chiefs. That was a fun freaking team. Fun. Ever since then, they've been the Brown Bags, especially this year. Ugh. But anyhow, the Brown Bags won the Brown Bowl today, and Jameis Winston threw 3 touchdowns, 334 yards against a pretty good Baltimore defense. Lamar Jackson wasn't exactly a slouch either, for the most part. In fact, running for 46 yards, okay, that's good. It's not great. He also threw for 2 touchdowns and almost 300 yards, and no grape jelly stain. Congratulations. And, of course, Jameis Winston, who did not throw a single interception, which is an accomplishment in itself, especially on 41 attempts against the Baltimore team that forces turnovers. But he fumbled. Damn it, Jameis. Come on, man. He fumbled. Yep, Jameis Winston fumbled. So he could not escape the grape jelly trap. He had this fancy shirt all ready to go. It was nice and clean coming out of the wash. It wasn't fancy, but it's really nice. Nice, clean, beautiful shirt. His Cleveland Brown Bags jersey. And he dropped the grape jelly on it. Damn it. Anyway, Jameis, why'd you have to fumble? But Cleveland getting their second win of the year. Congratulations, Vince Germano. And that is not a sarcastic, pandering, arrogant response. I like the Cleveland Browns. Why do you think I'm mad that they're not doing well? Just like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati. Dang it. So I guess I like teams in Ohio, huh? And I really, really like the Browns team that was in Cleveland before they became the Ravens. I liked that team, man. They were good. They were fun to watch. I liked Bill Belichick back then. Yeah. I've always liked Bill Belichick, actually. I was like, he's underrated. Then all of a sudden there he is as the Patriots coach, and everybody's making fun of the Patriots for giving up a draft pick to acquire him from the Jets and all that, him being Bill Belichick. And then what happened after that? Well, I didn't think Bill Belichick would be that good, but you could tell he was underrated. Now I'm babbling way too much, and I apologize. But Jameis Winston might be the guy, at least for the time being, and good for him, Jameis. You go from one first-round super talent that ended up being a massive bust and having a terrible injury, and he's out for the year in Achilles last week in Deshaun Watson. You go to Jameis Winston, who's extremely talented, but been a turnover machine with Tampa and the Saints and others along the way. Now he is at Cleveland, and who knows? Maybe it's definitely one of his better games. And obviously he's talented, but he just was a turnover machine. Dang it! But a good game for Jameis Winston. Lamar Jackson had a heave at the end of the game that was batted away. Lamar Jackson absolutely snapped and threw his helmet on the ground, and I'd probably do the exact same thing in that moment. The pass protection was dismal at best on that final play, and most of the game it was for the most part. Terrible grammar there. That was really bad. Cleveland had multiple sacks, 1, 2, 3 sacks in the game. Baltimore always has a good pass rush. In this game, though, only 2 sacks. So the Cleveland Browns won the sack battle, and their defense is good. It's just not great. Garrett only had 1 tackle, and then that's it, and it wasn't a sack or anything. But the Cleveland Browns shut down the Baltimore Ravens enough to get the win. 14 points in the third quarter, 9 in the fourth. Wow, very, very impressive. The Browns tried to go up by Brown Bags, but I guess they're the Browns for today. After a 38-yard touchdown, the two-point attempt failed, which gave Baltimore an opportunity, to possibly win the game on a touchdown if they were able to be successful. But the protection just wasn't enough, and guys couldn't get open enough for Lamar Jackson to complete a miracle comeback to finish the game. And the fact that the Baltimore Ravens were in this position in the first place was insanely frustrating, I'm sure. The fact the Vikings were behind most of the game versus the Rams, despite the fact both receivers coming back was a huge, boost in energy and confidence for the Los Angeles Rams. It still was frustrating as hell to be trailing by 10 bleeping points. The face mask has been conversated all over the place. Obviously, again, segment number 1 was recorded on Thursday, and I did talk about it then. But the face mask has definitely been a top story pretty much ever since then. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. A top story in a lot of ways, especially around here. But it was a massive face mask. Wouldn't have given the Vikings the game at all. But, they would have still had a chance. The Vikings wouldn't have been down by 10. The Vikings weren't down by 10 until the final play of the game. But, yeah, just being down by 8, pardon me. And then, of course, failing on 2-point conversions along the way as well did not help at all. Failing on 2-point conversion, insanely frustrating in that game. And you just felt the Vikings would fail again. The best threat, I think, for 2-point conversions or goal line threat in NFL history could have been Daunte Culpepper, I thought. I always saw Daunte Culpepper as the greatest goal line threat in NFL history because he had the strength and power and ability of a great running back, a powerful running back, to get those short yardage plays when you need them. And also, he was a quarterback. Yeah, that too. He could actually throw the ball too. So it was pretty nice. Detroit, Tennessee, that has to be on hold until later. Yeah, Detroit. Yeah. Whew. Anyhow, Arizona, Miami. Fantasy football implications. Miami's defense is considered one of the better in the league, despite the fact their offense has vanished off the face of the planet because a certain guy is, I don't know. Well, he's healthy. He played, and they still lost. Tua, we'll just call him Tua, Tagovailoa. I can't say it right. I'm sorry. I'll get it right one of these days. Tyreek Hill's fantasy value is up again, finally. Maybe I should have made that trade. I don't know. 72 yards, no touchdowns, though. Tua threw 1 touchdown. And you can just kind of tell playing it safe a bit. Kyler Murray, though. Nice game for Kyler. 307 yards against a pretty good Miami defense. 2 touchdowns and no grape jelly stain. Good job, man. No interception. But did he fumble? He did not, right? Nope, I didn't think he did. 19 yards on the ground. Nothing special. It's not like Murray had a great game, but he had a good game. 36 attempts, 27 completions, no turnovers. No turnovers for Tua either, so good for him. Raheem Mostert ran the ball 9 times for a measly 19 yards, but he got in the end zone twice. Mo Williams, eat your heart out. That's like Mo Williams all over again, isn't it? Remember Mo Williams? He's a nice, really nice goal line threat who, was kind of like a Leroy Horde, I know, this guy's like that guy, I know. But yeah, Leroy Horde, who would, if you need 1 yard, he'll give you 3. If you need 5 yards, he'll give you 3. That's pretty much what Mo Williams was, and that's what Racine was today, though closer to 2 yards in this case. But at least he got in the end zone twice, so cute little fantasy pickup for somebody out there, possibly, to help push you over the top. I mean, 2 rushing touchdowns is going to help anybody, let me tell you. You ain't going to sneeze at that. But a good game, Kyler. Oh, boy, the Jets. Oh, just retire and just end the season. Remember, that's what Jets stood for? Just end the season. They're right back there again. You know why? They lost to the New England Patriots. And losing to the New England Patriots years ago was a thing. It was a very common thing. The losing to the New England Patriots in 2024, regardless if you're in Gillette Stadium or MetLife or wherever the dang heck you're at, dude, you're in last place with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback and investing all that effort and energy into Aaron Rodgers and bringing in these receivers that are okay. You lost to the Patriots, guy. You lost to the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett completed like half his passes. Yay. Drake May completed half of his. Wonderful. And then this guy named Ramondre Stevenson, who's decent, averaged 2.5 yards a carry and got in the end zone twice. Breece Hall managed 80 yards on the ground for the Jets. The Jets end the seasons. Aaron Rodgers did throw for 2 touchdowns. Decent game. It's like he was fine. But the Patriots somehow won this game. I don't know. The defense just wasn't there enough for the, especially the run defense. And Drake May did run the ball in. Good for him. Drake May had 46 yards on the ground, showing some athleticism. Tyler Conklin, again, man. He's got to be one of Rodgers' favorites. And remember, he was such a nice, valuable guy who came out of nowhere when our tight end was hurt. Was that what's his name years ago? Why am I forgetting his name? Kyle. Kyle. My brain's just stopping. I don't understand. Well, you know, the red-headed tight end. Kyle Rudolph. Gosh, what's wrong with me? Rudolph, the redhead tight end. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, whenever he was hurt, which was all the time, Tyler Conklin one time emerged, and he was pretty good. And it was shocking. And then he signed with the Jets as a free agent. Yeah. Whereas I remember the year before, I was like, Conklin sucks. And then all of a sudden, he was kind of decent. And he's carved out a nice little niche for himself. But the Jets suck, and the Patriots suck. And it's kind of a bummer. It's weird seeing the Patriots suck so bad. And like, oh my God, they actually won a game. Yeah. It kind of is like that, isn't it? NFC South matchup for first place. The Atlanta Falcons are now the first place team in the NFC South. Well, after investing how much money in Kirk Cousins, he better start producing. And guess what? Kirk produced. It was like Kirk Cousins versus Detroit when the Detroit Lions sucked in the U.S. Bank Stadium on a nooner. This is Kirk Cousins at noon versus the Detroit Lions when they sucked at home. 276 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. And old grape jelly himself, Baker Mayfield, was back to his grape jelly stains. 2 interceptions despite 3 touchdowns, 50 attempts, 330 yards. But Baker was, this was, I don't know, Baker's chocolate. It was a Baker's dozen. I don't know. Well, he had too many bagels in the box, and they were stolen away. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost a home game. A crucial home game in Raymond James Stadium. The pirate ship, whatever the hell you want to call it. Beautiful uniforms by the Bucs. I like those. You know, we always used to make fun of those orange uniforms, especially, you know. But the helmets, if anybody rips those Bucs helmets with that logo, you're out of your freaking mind. Like, okay, the cross, whatever, the swords with the skull, whatever, skull cross swords, that's cool and everything. You're telling me that old Buccaneers logo sucks? You're crazy. That is excellent. It's a work of art. The orange uniforms are a little on the ugly side, but man, do they bring back memories. Like when the Vikings were, you know, I don't know. It was a fun time. You know, my really early days watching the Vikings, that was fun. It's fun. It's good memories. But the Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins putting on a show for the most part for Falcons fans. It's a pretty entertaining football game, but the turnovers by Baker didn't help. And Kirk Cousins was exquisite, to be fair. So, congratulations to the Falcons in first place right now. Good job. Green Bay, Jacksonville, that's coming up. Next week's opponent, yeah, just staring at that. Anyhow, next week's opponent is the Colts. They played the Texans, and that'll be the very last game we talk about. Ugly football coming up here. Oof, Chargers 26, Saints 8. The New Orleans Saints won the first 2 games of the season, and they outscored everybody. They managed 8 points today. 8 against the LA Chargers, who are now 4-3. It's SoFi. They're sharing that stadium, just like the Lakers and Clippers shared Staples forever. Clippers finally got their own building with their $100 billion owner. Of course they can do that with old Ballmer there, Mr. Microsoft. Yeah, you should check out those old commercials with Ballmer in the 80s. Kind of fun. That's where YouTube's value really shows. The Saints led this game 2-0 after Josh Harris fumbled. J.J. Scott refumbled the fumble for no gain, and Scott fumbled, and it was a safety. It's just crazy. What a mess. So the Saints defense, Jake Allen, whatever his name is, Jake Allen. I'm looking at the wrong guy. Well, Coach Allen of the New Orleans Saints defense showing up for a minute there, but ultimately at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. Just a 2-0 lead. The Chargers would build it'd be an ugly game for the first half, 9-5. What the heck is that? 16. Don't remind me about work tomorrow. Mondays, or today if you're listening on Monday morning. 16-5, 16-8, back and forth. Chargers ultimately. Herbert finally woke up a bit in this one with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions instead of just 1 touchdown and 150 yards. He added an extra 100 plus 279 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Herbert starting to show something. Spencer Rattler, the quarterback you settled for when you couldn't take anybody else or you weren't able to reach high enough to get Bo Nix or whoever else. So Spencer Rattler completed half of his passes for 156 yards. So that was the end of that nonsense. Chris Olave with 107 yards receiving. So on and so forth. Yuck. But, ugly football. Lad McConkey with 2 touchdowns for the, I want to call them San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers. They should be San Diego. 2 touchdowns receiving, and J.K. Dobbins got in the end zone with a touchdown and 57 yards. Sorry, something outside distracted me. It scared me for a second. I don't think it's Bigfoot or the Wolfman, but I guess we'll never know. Seattle Seahawks, another meh team that started off so strong, getting their butts handed to them by a Buffalo Bills team that started crappy like they always do. But then they've woken up in a big way, and I don't think they're going to be competing to the last second to win the AFC East this year. I think they got it. At least they should. 31-10. Absolutely romping on the Seattle Seahawks. Impressive overall performance. There's Josh Allen with 2 touchdowns and an INT, and Geno Smith, not a whole lot to brag about. 1 interception, no touchdowns thrown. Mediocre overall game for him. 29 attempts, 21 completions, But so overall, nothing too exciting. The Seattle defense had no sacks on Jake. I keep calling him Jake, Josh Allen. And only 1 sack for the Bills. That was Javon Solomon. The Bills win comfortably in this one. 2 touchdowns for James Cook on 111 yards and 6.5 a carry. An amazing performance. Only an 18 long, so just absolutely ran right through those Seattle Seahawks, which is something the Vikings need to do. I remember I talked all about the Vikings running all over the Rams, and I've seen better. That's all I got to say about that. I've seen better. You've seen better, and I've seen better. We've all seen better than what we saw versus the Rams on Thursday Night Football. We've seen better than this, too. A rematch of the Super Bowl 2015 season. The Broncos win again, 28-14 over the Carolina Panthers, who are looking for the number 1 overall pick again at 1-7. But their number 1 overall pick recently had one of his better games, except for the 2 grape jelly stains all over the place. Yuck. Bo Nix, just a rookie. 3 touchdowns. Finally, Bo Nix doing something other than throwing for 200 yards and running a bit. Had no touchdowns, no interceptions. Well, no interceptions for Bo, but 3 touchdowns thrown. Impressive. This is the Carolina Panthers, though. You got to put that into perspective. But still, you got to start somewhere. You know, like every great baseball player has to hit a home run against one of the weaker teams, one of the worst pitchers, before he starts hitting home runs off of the best pitchers and such. Yes, Debu Samuel, but there is a flag with a big catch and a scamper. I don't see what's his name celebrating. Yeah, of course, it's a hold. Am I watching the Vikings or am I watching the 49ers here? Great play, but of course there's holding. Ugh. That was a great play. But yeah, it's a hold. Yeah. Looks like they're holding each other. But yeah, it's more, yeah. Definitely more Mr. 82 there of the Niners. Anyhow. Well, they're pretty good numbers, actually, for their tight end there. They really spread the ball, don't they, in San Francisco? Anyhow, I'm babbling, and I apologize. Comfortable win for the, what do they call them? The Denver Broncos. But Bryce Young, good to see him playing. 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Let's go. Enough. Broncos are 5-3, by the way, which is surprising. Maybe they'll be a wild card team and get stomped in the first round by somebody, by the next team we're going to talk about, who performed mediocre football again, which is what they've been doing most of the year. Yet they're winning every freaking game. Just like the Super Bowl last year. They probably should have lost. But they won. But they won. They just won. They just win games, even when they suck. And they suck all the time, but they somehow win. Travis Kelce had his first touchdown completion of the whole season. Or should I say he who shall not be named, because I don't like him. I can't stand the guy. 90 yards on 10 catches. Yeah, that's back to being the freaking annoying pest that he is. Showboating jackass. 10 catches, got in the end zone, as did Xavier Worthy. Exactly, Xavier Worthy. DeAndre Hopkins acquired by the Chiefs recently to try to get Mahomes to stop having mediocre games. Patrick Mahomes has been having, like, I don't know, like he'd been having those mediocre games, him and Justin Herbert. It's like, 157 yards and a touchdown and an interception. It's like, okay, that's great. Today he had 2 touchdowns, him being Patrick Mahomes, 262 yards, but still just kind of above average. Not great. Because, you throw in the interception and such, and completion percentage was okay. Kareem Hunt, another rushing touchdown for Kareem Hunt. He's having a pretty good year, even though he only averaged about 2.8 yards a carry, but still something. Gardner Minshew, a heck of a lot better than was it a week or two ago with that nasty 3 interception embarrassment. Alexander Mattison looked like he did last year with the Vikings. 14 rushes, 15 yards, 1.1 a carry, a long of 5. Yeah, it's exquisite, man. Oh, God. Oh, but the Chiefs won again. Yep, so annoying. They always find a way now. Oh, it's so tiring. Who isn't sick of the Yuck City Chefs winning these games? If you're not sick of them, you don't have a pulse. Okay, well, this was a fun one, so we're going to move to the NFC North now. The Washington Commanders hosting the Chicago Bears. 2 teams with a winning record. Who would have thought the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears would have a winning record? Well, they did have the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft. And both of them look like they're probably going to be pretty damn good. It doesn't look like you got, one guy over here named Peyton Manning and then Ryan Leaf over here, who's maybe, by 2 years from now, you'll be, wondering where the heck he is. Oh, yeah, he's the 3rd stringer on the Packers over there, and he's never going to play because it's Brett Favre, That's pretty much what Ryan Leaf's career turned into. And then Peyton Manning, well, say whatever you want. He had a hell of a career. Neither quarterback was that good, though, in this game, except for Jaden Daniels on the final play. But Daniels, he had some moments. Yeah, he completed some passes, and he showed some athleticism, 52 yards on the ground. Hail Mary pass to win the game. The Bears actually would have won the game, believe it or not, because DeAndre Swift was phenomenal. 18 rushes, 129 yards, 7.2 a carry, but he did have a 56 long and got in the end zone once. Caleb Williams lost the ball with a fumble, did not throw an interception, but kind of like the Houston Texans game, 24 attempts, 10 completions. It was pretty lousy, honestly. He was kind of back to being that Caleb Williams. It wasn't real fun to watch in that sense. But both Washington and the Bears have a pretty good defense. But Jaden Daniels, not Jaden McDaniels, that's the guy on the Wolves, future Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA, or all-defensive team, or whatever the heck. I don't know what he's going to be, but he's Jaden McDaniels, the small forward, good player. But Jaden Daniels, it's going to drive me nuts forever, with the Hail Mary play that ended up winning the game. So the opposite of Lamar Jackson, similar in a way, like going to have to heave it deep and hope for the best. This time it worked out. Terry McLaurin, not McLaren, but McLaurin with 5 catches, 125 yards. Zach Ertz coming back from the dead with 77 yards and 7 catches. Man, that guy's still playing. It's amazing. Remember when he was on the Eagles and driving us nuts? But that was, again, how many years? 7 years ago? So it's not that far back, but it's far enough. Yeah, anyhow, Washington is 6-2. Amazing record. They're ahead of the Vikings, technically. But, I don't know, I would hope the Vikings are going to beat the Colts. I would hope. They better. If the Vikings don't beat the Colts, boy, I don't know. Board it up, folks. Board it up. It's over. Start tanking. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. That would be stupid. Jacksonville Jaguars host the Green Bay Packers. Jaguars had a nice bounce-back game last week after starting the season 1-5. Awful, 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 awful. But they ended up winning last week. Good for them. Very competitive performance versus the Green Bay Packers. Trevor Lawrence always has that stupid interception, but he had finally, again, another guy who'd been mediocre all year, and into last year, into this year, 150 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Today was 2 touchdowns, an interception with 308 yards. Jordan Love, also, again, banged up again. Malik Willis helped the Green Bay Packers down the stretch. Jordan Love did not throw a single touchdown. Completed a little over half of his passes and had the 1 interception. Josh Jacobs was phenomenal. 127 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns for him. Oh, boy. Malik Willis entered the game, though. Completed 4 of 5 and had a touchdown, 152.9 quarterback rating. And he was pretty good down the stretch in that fourth quarter. Put the Packers ahead 27-17 at the end of the day. But the Jaguars would manage 10 points to tie the game up. Trevor Lawrence getting Evan Ingram for a 14-yard touchdown. But then Malik Willis was able to get the Packers into, am I saying the right person? I know I'm getting mixed up with the other one that's in, Levins. Yeah, the wrong guy. Levis, not Levins. Was able to get the Packers all the way down the field for a chip shot kick. That ended up winning the game. Brandon McManus, 24-yard chip shot. Basically an extra point, if even that. I don't even think it's an extra point. It's less. 30-27, and the Packers escape disaster. Losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars would be awesome for us and crappy for them. Oh, it would have been awesome for us. But they didn't lose to the Jaguars. They beat them. And it is what it is. This isn't college football, even though, where it's a ranking system. If you win, you win. Though, of course, the playoffs oftentimes end up separating the mediocre from the great. Well, the one that might be great, another team that played another crappy one, played the other quarterback from Tennessee. You know the other one. You know the other Tennessee quarterback. Oh, but he didn't play in the game. Another mediocre guy from Pittsburgh, in this case, Mason Rudolph was the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans against the hosting Detroit Lions. What do you think this is? I think it's a recipe for disaster. I think it's like having a RPG character built up to level, 50-something, and you're fighting against one of the weakest, slimes or whatever, like in an RPG, and then, you hit the thing with, imagine, like the average hit or something is 46 or something. You hit them with, a 125 because the defense is so crappy. Yeah, one of those type of situations. That's pretty much what the Lions did today to the Tennessee Titans. 52-14. Yeah. This game was tied, believe it or not, late in the first quarter. Late. It was tied early in the second quarter, 14-14. And that was it. Detroit just put the can of whoop-ass the rest of the way. I mean, just absolutely obliterated the Tennessee midgets, the Tennessee little people, the Tennessee ant farm. They got absolutely 52-14. I mean, what more is there to say? Do you realize the Vikings were, ahead of this team at one point? Do you realize the Vikings were ahead of the Detroit Lions at one point? Now do you realize how hard it's going to be to catch them? Oh, man. It's depressing, isn't it? It's really depressing. Detroit is 6-1 on the season. Sole possession of first place in the NFC North. I mean, we're not going to just hand it to them or anything. And thankfully we get to play them again, but we got to go there. Good luck. 15 attempts by Jared Goff. 15 attempts. 3 touchdowns. 12 completions. Kind of like against the Vikings here. Just exquisite performance. He's looking like the number 1 overall pick in the draft years ago. Hard to believe Jared Goff is 30 already, but he is. Seems like yesterday, doesn't it? Man, time flies. It absolutely flies. Sam Laporta, healthy from the injury last year, of course. Hopefully our guy who came from Detroit was injured versus Detroit. That being TJ Hawkinson is going to be healthy, ready to go. Recovering from ACL, MCL, just like, oh yeah, I didn't even talk about it. So the ACL, MCL situation, yeah, ACL, MCL, yeah. Well, since we're talking about Detroit and TJ Hawkinson, we traded for him and he got hurt versus Detroit, blah, 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 with the ACL, MCL. Yeah, well, the update that took place the next morning, Friday morning, with Christain Darrisaw, if you didn't already know. ACL, MCL, so ACL, MCL, yeah. There was hints that it's probably just the MCL. Okay, yeah. And either way, a torn tendon sucks and it's bad and everything. But the MCL often is one of those, like, you're out about a month and you come back, you know. But you just kind of knew, like, the violence of the collision and all that from the Rams defender. You just had a crappy feeling it's going to be ugly, you know. Like, when somebody goes into the knee like that, it's, like, always bad. That's pretty much what happened to T.J. Hockenson. So, it's just, you know, it really sucks. ACL, MCL all over again. So if T.J. Hockenson, I'm trying to remember exactly when he got hurt, but it was pretty late in the year, if I remember correctly. And if he's coming back right around Halloween here, you know, Halloween week or whatever, it's slightly after Halloween, we're probably going to be looking at, what's-his-name coming back just in time for the preseason. Christain Darrisaw, what's-his-name, sorry. One of the best tight ends in football in Hockenson, and one of the best left tackles in the NFL, if not the best, and Christain Darrisaw. So we've had two guys go down with ACL, MCL. We had 2 guys last year also go down with Achilles tendons. It's just ridiculous. Like, geez, man. That's what you hate about football is the injuries more than anything. It's just sad. You had Kirk Cousins go down with the Achilles. Then you had Cam Akers go down with the Achilles the next week. Cam Akers was just starting to show, you know, like he should have been the starting running back of the Vikings last year. Like, period. He should have been the starter. Like Addison is not a starting running back in the NFL. I'm sorry. Raiders know that. Anyhow, Jahmyr Gibbs, who ran right through us, ran right through the Tennessee Titans too. 70-yard touchdown in the game. 11.5 a carry. It's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Even Montgomery, eating up the clock, also got in the end zone. The veteran from the Bears there. 9 rushes, 33 yards. Again, just eating up the clock as the game progressed. But the Lions were still scoring anyway. Amon-Ra St. Brown only caught two catches for 7 yards, but got in the end zone. Brock Wright, 1 catch for 8 yards. That was a touchdown. Khalif Raymond, 2 catches, 14 yards, a touchdown. Man, talk about making use of what you have. Jeez. And then Sam the Man Laporta, 6 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Just crazy. And that was on 6 targets because of the accuracy. Not even having to throw away either because the pretty good offensive line there in Detroit. Oh, Detroit. I'm telling you, yeah, they might actually, yeah. Should I finish the sentence? Well, I picked them to lose to Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. Cincinnati looks like the S word. Now, they're still the frickin' Chiefs and everything. But I'm telling you, Detroit just might. They just might. Maybe I won't finish the sentence to not jinx them, but they just might. Yep. They just might, actually, yeah. They might. Anyhow, Cowboys are up 7-3, and they're threatening to score again. Wow. That was close. 3rd and goal by the Dallas Cowboys. No, for the Dallas Cowboys. $60 million a year Dak Prescott. It was like the next week they got absolutely smoked by the... Who did they get crushed by again? Was it Detroit, right? And then, what's his name got hurt? Hutchinson. Yeah, he had no, it was a broken leg. It wasn't an ACL, MCL. It was a broken leg. Did they fumble? No, the Cowboys recovered. 4th down, and they're going to make it 10-3 if they make their kick. Anyhow, sorry. I love this segment. Can you tell? I just love this. I love this segment. It's so much fun. But I'm probably babbling too much. Yeah, well, better get moving. The Colts, one of the worst teams in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not impressed by them. They almost beat the Houston Texans, though, are one of the better teams in the league. 6-2. Vikings beat the Houston Texans this year and crushed the crap out of them. You can definitely say for sure that was the game of the year so far. You know, every season has a feature presentation type game like the Vikings in Buffalo years ago. Remember that spectacular catch by Justin Jefferson in November in Buffalo? It was the signature game of the year that season. So far, it's got to be the Houston Texans game, right? I mean, we just whooped them. They're 6-2. That isn't a joke. Indianapolis, though, I mean, they had a winning record coming into this game. So, I mean, they're not that bad. But they've beaten, like, you know, they haven't been that good either. they're kind of the weird up and down club. Like, they're not the horrible team with Jeff Saturday as coach that the Vikings made the greatest comeback in NFL history on. Pretty anticlimactic game, though. It wasn't a playoff game like the Buffalo Bills versus the Houston Oilers or anything. There was a 32-point comeback. But, yeah, the Colts. Who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Anthony Richardson, Mr. Mistake Prone, Mr. Inaccurate? 32 attempts, 12 completions. Crap, man. That's terrible. It's terrible. Yep, 48.3. Houston does have a good defense. They made, what's his name? They made Caleb Williams look like crap, too. And Caleb Williams isn't ready to kick ass, really. Jonathan Taylor, 105 yards for the Colts. That's the guy we got to worry about. You got Michael Pittman, who had one lousy catch for 16 lousy yards in the game, and that's it. He was targeted 6 times, though, so all the throwaways are inaccurate passes by Anthony Richardson. He's just a mess. Josh Downs did get 4 catches for 109 yards, which is insanely impressive, and he did get in the end zone. Anthony Richards, 1 touchdown pass in the game. C.J. Stroud also only threw for 1 touchdown, but 285 yards overall. Joe Mixon is ageless. He's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What a nice Renaissance season. After it looked like he was kind of Delvin Cooking it in Cincinnati last year. Just that guy who's been oft injured. He's getting older, and it's just, he's not that old, but he's getting older, and he's just not that good anymore. And I don't know, maybe he needs a change of scenery. He'll have a good Renaissance year or 2 or 3 or 4. Who knows? Well, Joe Mixon's certainly doing that one way or another. He did run the ball, or he was given the ball 25 times in the game. But he did manage to get 102 yards and got in the end zone. Stephon Diggs, yep, 81 yards on 5 catches overall. Good for him. Tank Dell, not Take, but Tank Dell was the one scorer for Houston. 35 yards and 4 catches and a touchdown. But let's focus on the Colts now. They have been competitive. That's the thing. They suck, but they're competitive. That's the thing. But it's mostly because of their quarterback. He's just, I don't know. I mean, he's extremely talented, and occasionally he looks like he's got something going. But generally speaking, Anthony Richardson sucks, generally speaking, so far. Now, I know it's early in his career. He can turn it around and become something, depending on being on a different team. You can look at this guy and you can look at that guy. People emerge. You can look at Sam Darnold, the guy wearing purple. 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. It's a hell of a lot better than the 3 touchdown, 6 interception deal with Anthony Richardson. But remember, that was Sam Darnold when he was wearing green and white. Coolest helmets in NFL history, in my opinion. They are gorgeous. I love the Jets helmets. Love. Best helmets in the league. Period. You can love the Viking purple, the purple ones with the horns all you want, but I'm telling you, the Jets have the best helmets in the league. Next, Walter Rouse. What the hell? Okay, that was... What the hell? What the hell? I thought he was an option. Okay, I guess Walter Rouse isn't going to be... Well, yeah, you're not going to start a rookie 6th-round pick. No matter how much... no matter how much potential he has, I don't think they're going to start a 6th-round rookie anyway, so that's probably dumb. Inactive coach's decision. So, Walter Rouse, that conversation is on the kibosh, at least for the moment. Brett Ripien and Myles Gaskin, inactive coach's decision. At least that's of the 26th. So, that doesn't mean he's not going to... Who knows? Walter Rouse probably will be activated for the game, but I don't know if he's going to get major minutes. I don't know. But that's kind of what it's looking at. These are what we're saying right now. Those aren't injuries, per se. When it comes to the... Vikings have like 500. Jalen Carey's over the fibula. That doesn't sound too good, Gennard Avery. But that's coming into today's game. Let's understand. Hawkinson, we'll see. He probably will be activated. Reisner, there's a pretty good chance he gets activated. Caleb Evans was questionable. That was going into the Rams game, and Cashman. Damn it, anyway. Come back from that turf toe, please. Whew. But yeah, Walter Rouse. Yeah, he was in... I have no idea what's going to happen, but he's one of those possible guys that might... I don't know. They really like him. They really do. 6th round. He was the top pick in the 6th round by the Minnesota Vikings. 6'6", 324. You're not going to get stats with an offensive lineman. You're just going to get film possibly. March 8th, 2001. So before 9/11 at least. Out of Oklahoma, the Sooners. 6'6", 324. Pardon me. So definitely a beast. If you see a big number 78 out there, that's Walter Rouse playing at the tackle position, possibly left tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. I got to think it's going to be Dan Quisenberry, at least for now. Walter Rouse, let's see how close he is to being something. Because you remember how, people, it was kind of a reach going for Brian O'Neill. He wasn't ready to be a tackle. He was this great tight end, whatever, or an athletic guy. Needed to get bigger, stronger to be able to play tackle instead of tight end and all that. And as the year progressed, all of a sudden, Brian O'Neill started getting snaps. The next thing you know, he was starting. Like, what the hell? Let's go for it. And he ended up being the best lineman on the team, Brian O'Neill. And he's probably still at least the second best when Christain Darrisaw is healthy. So it ended up working out nicely. Who knows? Maybe Walter Roach is a great story, or it's just another guy. I don't know. Just another guy on the offensive line who you hear about once in a while. Even if he's Oli Udo, it's better than nothing. At least he's an NFL caliber lineman. But could he possibly be starting caliber? Wouldn't that be cool to see in the next few weeks? Let's see. But it's, I suppose. I mean, if you're gonna go for it in a game, maybe him. Let's look at some of the numbers here, the comparisons and such, and I can give you a prediction and move on here. I'm sorry. I'm very wordy for some reason. I don't know if I have too energetic. Points scored per game, the Vikings are 6th. The Colts are 18th. Total yards per game, like offensively. Colts are 15th. The Vikings are 18th. Interesting. That's really weird. It's about a 4-yard difference, though. Passing yards per game, the Vikings are 16th. The Colts are 18th. Rushing yards per game, the Vikings are 21st, and the Colts are 14th. Again, Taylor, good job. Time of possession, the Colts are dead last, 36th. Vikings are 23rd. Not that much more. Only about 3-minute difference. Points against defensively. Vikings are 8th in the league, despite a couple of meh games, giving up 30. That didn't help, but of course, the safety was not the defense's fault. And pick sixes aren't the defense's fault either. Colts are 12th, so they're on the stingy side. Total yards against, though, the Colts are 29th in the league. So they don't give up points, only 21.3 a game. But they do give up yards, 382. Wow. Vikings 346 has not been good lately. We're getting run right through the past few weeks here. Pass yards against, the Vikings are 30th. Wow. Vikings absolutely suck against the pass. And yes, we do need a cornerback in the draft or in possibly a trade as well. Colts are 23rd, so both kind of suck there. Running yards against, are you ready? Vikings are 3rd in the league, even though they've been lousy the past few weeks, especially against the Detroit Lions. They're still 3rd in the league in running yards against. Colts are 31st. They give up 160 yards a game. 160 yards a game. That is unbelievable. So, well, get Cam Akers in there, okay? Please. Like, it's okay if you want Aaron Jones to get a lot of carries and all that. Give Cam Akers something, okay? Give him some love. I'm saying it right here. Defensively, sacks. Vikings are 3rd in the league with 23. The Colts only 14, so not a huge pass rush from the Colts. Interceptions, the Colts only have 4 with 19th in the league. Number 1, Minnesota is number 1 in the league with 12 interceptions, kind of like the 92 Vikings at the end of the day. So that's kind of cool to think about. It really is, actually. Anybody exciting on the Colts with getting a huge pass rush? I can't think of too many at the moment. Like, who is it? Yeah, well, you have 2 interceptions with Jalen Jones. He's the one. And then Leatu Latu. Wasn't he somebody we were looking at in the draft? Yeah, I remember him, right? Well, no. Yes and no. Yeah, he was. He was somebody we were looking at, but then it's like, yeah, if you want to go a defensive end or whatever, the Vikings ultimately get J.J. McCarthy, which is great, but I mean, possibly. And then, of course, Dallas Turner. Vikings trade up for Turner, but we've not been playing him. So, yeah, Leatu Latu with 2 sacks with the Colts as a rookie so far. So, nothing spectacular yet. Who knows what's going to happen there. But, oh, boy. You got to think the Vikings are going to win. Again, this one is flexed to Sunday night. That's right, Sunday night with these teams coming up. So, Sunday night football, just like what I'm watching right now. Who knows? Maybe I'll record. Yeah, I'll probably record segment 1 as the game is ending. Hopefully it's a nice blowout in favor of the Vikings, but we'll see. They don't give up that many points. This one is in US Bank Stadium. That'll help a lot, I think. Vikings will win the football game. Final score, I can't go too high anymore, but we'll just say 28-21 Vikings win by a touchdown. That's it. 28-21 Vikings win over the Colts. Get some interceptions on Richardson. I think at least one. We are number 1 in the league, so at least one interception on Richardson. And, well, hopefully Dallas Turner can get some more love out there, get some more snaps. And Cam Akers gets in the end zone. Cam Akers scores a touchdown in this game if they give him the damn ball. That's the hope. So as long as they at least give him the ball, Cam Akers is going to get a touchdown in this game at the end of the day. Vikings win 28-21 over the Indianapolis Colts. With that said, we'll take a quick break and come back for fan interaction. And we are back here on Purple Mafia, segment number 3, fan interaction segment. Here we go. Facebook.com. Well, it's on Facebook. Purple Mafia Show, Minnesota Vikings Show. That's what it's called. So I don't have like an actual link right now. I mean, the link is in the show description, but it doesn't have like a, I can't include anything yet. Hopefully soon they'll let me do that so I can turn it into something that looks more, I don't know, relevant instead of just a bunch of jumbled nonsense. But that's kind of because I had to recreate the page. So if you're listening out there and you've used to be you were a member of the previous page that got lost, come back and please join it again if you could. That would really help to get some followers on here and regrow this page. Otherwise, click the link in the show description and go follow and like, so to speak, the Purple Mafia Minnesota Vikings Show Facebook page. Mike Dale from the New York State area says, Joey, sorry I missed the big one against the Lions on Sunday. Looking forward to see our Vikings get back on track against the Rams tonight. Brentford Liberty locally here says, I believe Woodbury. Yep, he says, I would be shocked if the Matthew Stafford to Minnesota rumors turn out to be more than just rumors, but maybe New Orleans or maybe Miami. Outside shot, maybe Cleveland. Yeah, I think you're right, Brent. Yeah, I mean, and Sam Darnold has been just fine for the most part. He hasn't been spectacular, but we do have J.J. McCarthy in the wings. And I do think those other teams are looking a little bit harder for a quarterback at the moment. Leland Albertson out of Iowa says, lots of yellow laundry on the field the first half. Need to tighten up on the basics. Yeah, that's for sure. Nice to see the ball being spread around. And yeah, yep, that was good at least. But yeah, so much freaking penalties. Mike Dale says the amount of penalties in the first half is absurd. And he says the last defensive stand was absolutely shambolic. Yep. It was a huge jam, wasn't it? So the post-game thread, unfortunately, nothing on Instagram. Oh, yeah, Twitter really quick before I get to the Facebook. Yeah, so only one post from Mad Martin, but again, remember, he is in Northern Scotland, so it's several hours ahead. These late games and Mad Martin don't mix real well, because I don't blame him not wanting to be up at 3 in the morning to watch a game. Not easy. Not easy. He's a busy guy, Think about yourself as a busy person. Like me, I'm busy, you're busy, blah, blah, blah. Would you want to be up at 3 in the morning? I don't know. I probably, put it this way, I probably wouldn't be the host of a Viking show if I lived in Great Britain or like Northern Scotland, just because of the timing. Not because anybody that does live there and does do it, because you can rewatch it and this and that, but I probably wouldn't. It'd be too hard, I think. It'd be too hard. I'd probably be doing a podcast on something else, but to still be a fan, of course, Mad Martin, and the fact that you listen to the show is absolutely awesome. I'm just saying how hard it would be. Holy crap, it'd be really hard to be a podcaster and keep up with, say, like Thursday night, Sunday night type games. So, yes, I'm not real happy about the Sunday night thing, but it's fun. It's nice to be on center stage like San Francisco and Dallas right now, but, yeah. still, it's the Colts anyway. Like, what's the point? The Detroit game maybe should have been the flex. Whatever, anyhow, I was saying, what an awful game. My God, same crap, different season, the way this team teases you. Matt Martin says, and don't they like to tease us? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No doubt about that. Yep, and no response because I think I replied fairly late, and Matt Martin had probably wrestled with a pillow by that point, if you know what I'm saying. So, next, post-game thread, Los Angeles. Rams of Los Angeles. Okay, that was cute, wasn't it? Most relevant? No, all comments. You son of a gun. Woo, Mike Dale's got another gem coming. He's got a big one. I like it. So, Mark Carlson will lead things off. I saw only the last 4 minutes. Disappointing. I had this game in a W column, and I will have to catch game highlights and analysis to better understand the score. I guess the curse of late games still exists. Yes, it sure feels like it, doesn't it? Skol, a mark from Iowa. Then I'll wait for the big one here in a second. Gerald String out of Nebraska. And I didn't click like on anything. What's wrong with me? Yep, that doesn't mean I'm not going to. I was just late to the party here. Yeah. It's called Thursday night, right? Gerald String, Nebraska says tough loss after a hard-fought game last Sunday. It's hard to get healed up and head west on a short week. Rams got a couple of stud receivers. Yeah, that's the hugest thing. A couple of stud receivers back, so maybe better than we anticipated. Yep. Still blown ref call at the end. Would have had an outside chance to tie the game. Plus losing Darrisaw for the season. Tough week in Skull Country. We'll be fine, though. Get a 10-day break. Get some guys healed up. Yep, hopefully. Obviously, yes, Darrisaw is kaput until next fall, pretty much. Yeah. Probably, yep, yeah, I mean, and obviously, they say the bigger they are, the harder they fall, or it's harder to come back and such, so thankfully, Darrisaw's pretty young, so that's the good part. He's got a whole career ahead of him, and it shouldn't derail his career. God willing, please, Lord, don't let that be the case. Mike Dale, the New York area, again, like I said, says, well, that was extremely disappointing. Penalties and overall sloppiness is what eventually did the Vikings in here. It didn't help either that they lost arguably their best offensive lineman and Christain Darrisaw to injury. Brian O'Neill at the other bookend is an absolute champ, but I think Darrisaw is slightly better. I agree. I hope he's not out too long, but it doesn't look good. Yep, and he does have an update coming. Yes, the ACL, MCL. Yeah, there was hope that it was maybe going to be like a month or something. And no, it's ACL, MCL. But anyhow, Mike Dill says, it looks like the other shoe has finally dropped, as previously and worryingly so foreseen, regarding Sam Darnold's effectivity and ability to drive a team towards success. It's almost like Sam has this Ryan Fitz magic. Yep, see, that's the guy that I kept wanting to bring up all the time when I'd bring up like backup quarterbacks that, they get paid well and all that, and he's on another team. Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Fitzmagic, yep. Anyhow, it's almost like Sam has this Ryan Fitzmagic quality to him with every new team he joins, where right off the bat he really looks solid and rattles off a bunch of consecutive wins. Wow, why did his previous team not re-sign him? He also sounds like Sam Cassell in the NBA too. Sam Cassell was really good, but it was like 2 years in. He already hates the coach and stuff. It was stupid, right? Sam Cassell. How can you hate Flip Saunders, by the way? Anyhow, followed by drastically developing into a rank ineffective shell/state of his former self. It's almost like there's a learning curve that defensive coordinators eventually figure out. Yep, like sticking a stethoscope up to a locked safe to ultimately figure out the proverbial combination on how to stop him from succeeding. I really, really, really hope that this isn't the beginning of that aforementioned trend. Yeah, I love the way this guy writes. It's so awesome because there is definitely a player there in Sam. I hope he rebounds and doesn't continue spiraling down the path towards ineffectual futility. Don't get me wrong, his numbers weren't terrible. No picks either. Yeah, that's true against the Rams. However, it's his overall fourth quarter play, and especially in clutch situations, that needs to pick up and improve. Yeah, man. Here comes some more. I love it. Yeah, I wish I could create a real website. Yeah, but then again, this is good too. But like a real website and man, I would, Mike Dale, you'd be right at the top of the list of who I would hire to be like the columnist. Like a columnist down there. I'm dead serious, too. You'd be right at the top. Like I would be writing, because I'm, I think I'm a pretty good writer, too. But Mike Dale is a really damn good writer. Next. Okay, yeah, like I'm blanking. Where was I? Okay, also, it seems the honeymoon for Brian Flores and his defense looks to be over. Adjustments are going to need to be made on both sides of the ball because it seems that other teams have sussed out how to play the Vikings and beat them. This is 2 back-to-back losses on the bounce, and both the Lions and Rams seem to have figured out an eerily similar formula. Pros, Jay Jets had another solid game. Big Leg Bill continues to rake. Cons, yep, it's a little bit larger. Stephon Gilmore had a bit of a rough go. Yeah, he's not been good, has he? As did a lot of the Viking secondary. All the corners seem to have been a bit roughed up. Murphy Jr., despite his interception, and Shaq Griffin by Nacua, Cupp, and Robinson via Stafford. I know I shouldn't be this doom and gloom, as this team currently sits at 5-2. We're still probably not supposed to be here, right? That said, I'm a Vikings fan, and I've seen this script play out too many times before. Yep, I can't help it. Yeah, and you can hear it in my voice too when I do this show. I'm going to read exactly what Mike Dale said here, and it'll be coming out of my mouth as well. That said, I'm a Vikings fan, and I've seen this script play out too many times before. I can't help it. I'm nodding. Since you can't see it, I'm nodding. Like, Hopefully, yes. I mean, let's just write out the list. I mean, even back into the early, like the early 90s, everything looked so promising in 92. And then we're up 7-0 against the Washington Redskins. And we lose like 24-7. It's like, seriously, a 9-7 Redskins team in the Metrodome, seriously, come on. I know they're the defending champion, but they were mediocre. See, with stuff like that, it's like, that was the first of many scenarios that could play out. 93, we looked promising at times, but then not that great. 94, we got Warren Moon, oh my God. And then you lose games to like Tampa. It's like blankety blank. It was like ruining the whole season. It was so disappointing. I just got sick, and it's like so much for any hope of home field. Okay, next. Hopefully a bounce-back win against the Colts will slap this bitter taste out of my mouth. Here's to that hopefully transpiring. Skull, huh? Huh. Interesting. But no, that was awesome. Anyhow, Mike Dale said, yep, confirmed Christain Darrisaw out for the rest of the season, needing surgery on his right knee. Yep, and that was ACL, MCL. Like TJ Hawkinson all over again. You never know just how severe it is, but either way, the fact that it's torn enough to need surgery, it's the same... Probably, generally, the same length of time, though sometimes maybe it heals a little bit faster depending on how severe the tears truly were. Because there is grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. Now, grade 1 is more like it's like a sprain than like anything super bad. Where maybe, but ACLs, it's always like 6 months, right? MCLs, it's typically, like, they say 2 to 4, but it's probably closer to 4. When it was the MCL, sometimes even longer, but generally not. It's extremely interesting, and like any type of tendon. There's grade 1 where it's like microscopic, little tiny holes maybe, and they could heal naturally if you're careful. 2 needs surgery because it's probably torn more than half of the way through, and 3 is it's completely torn. So those are the different grades when it comes through. And you're always wondering, see, like a partial, even though it's not fully, it's partial, maybe it heals a little teeny bit faster, maybe, where when it's a complete tear and you got to reconstruct it all back together again. That's why they call it reconstructive surgery. So, yeah, that's bad. It's really bad. Yep, when that happens, and then they're out forever. I think even Achilles tendons are like that at times, where it's torn, but maybe not completely. But it's torn enough that you're like, no way, no freaking way. I wouldn't be surprised if I had like a almost like a grade 1 in my Achilles more than once, where it's like microscopic and it hurts. It just stings and hurts like the dickens when you walk a certain way. but then it kind of slowly heals on its own if you're careful. And if you're not careful, pop. And you're done. You're bleeped. Whatever job you were working on, good luck. But anyhow, there I go babbling on and on and on about medical stuff as if I'm this genius. But, well, I've read about it. I've learned things. You know, yeah. I'm not the guy doing the surgery. That's the one with the brain. I'm kind of semi-like reporter, whatever the heck you want to call me, news anchor, whatever, conversation guy behind a microphone. Nobody from Golden Valley. I don't know what I am. I'm something. I don't know. Purple Mafia, believe it or not, is in the top 3% in podcasts on the planet. But does that mean much? I don't know. Because there's like 100 million podcasts, I think. So that's the one thing. There aren't necessarily quite that many, but there's a lot. So probably over 1 million. So top 3% is better than nothing, but apparently websites like Believe are just ignoring me, so it must not be that good. I don't know. It must not be that high end. But those of you in that, that are helping this show be in the top 3%, I bless you so much. Thank you. I just want to bless you in so many ways. Those of you that celebrate Halloween, hope you enjoy yourself. To me, I like the festive side of it. It's fun, like the harvest, it's autumn and da-da-da-da-da. Some of the decorations are okay. Some stuff I think is a little bit too far, like some hooded figure, some skeletal, like realistic looking hooded figure with red eyes. Skeletal hooded figure with red eyes. I don't know, man. That's very demonic. Are you sure? I don't know. Are you sure? Are you sure you want that for a decoration in your front yard? I don't know. I think that's going down a path I want no part of at the end of the day. So that's up to you, I guess. I have no right to judge you, but I don't know. With that said, I know I've probably gone down a path a rabbit hole that I probably don't need to. But again, that's the thing. Halloween to me is kind of, 50-50. The harvest, the autumn, yes. The demonic ghost crap, no. The pumpkin is a pumpkin. Demonic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, I don't know. If you're just having fun with cutesy little decorations, fine, okay. But I don't know. As long as you don't go too far, I guess. And the autumn beer, and then eventually leading into Christmas type beer, which is arguably the best of the year, the Christmas season type beer. Yum. Absolutely delicious. But obviously the autumn stuff still very much in play. I would say well into November, even though the Christmas stuff is going to start coming out this week. And in some cases, some of it's been trickling out already, which is crazy to think about. So look forward to that. No call-ins this week, of course. I don't think I've had any this season. I don't think I have, or unless Gerald did once. Maybe he did. I know he's called in for Freedom of Thought a number of times. He had the one huge one on the Make America Healthy, or Keep America Healthy episode on Freedom of Thought. That was a really nice call-in. I don't think he'd ever do one that long for Purple Mafia, unless it was Super Bowl championship. Then, yes, I'd say all bets are off. But if you want to interact with this show with your voice, yeah. I mean, obviously there's links in the show description for interacting via like this right now, like posts and such. Instagram is, Purple Mafia Show, just straight up at Purple Mafia Show. Twitter is at Purple Mafia Show. And Facebook there's a link in the show description because there's nothing descriptive yet. If I can fix that someday, hopefully. I'll kind of get looking at that here to see if I can get that to be a little better. Otherwise, the way to call in, simply use any voice recording app on any smart device on the planet. Press record, talk into it like a phone call or a podcast, basically. Yeah, because it sounds like a podcast sometimes if you're lucky enough. The audio can be good enough. I've done part of my Freedom of Thought shows that way. I might even do a segment or two that way, like mobile as we call it, on this show as well sometimes. Sometimes you kind of have to, just with the circumstances. Even though I do have a backup microphone now, which is awesome. Thanks to the donators to Freedom of Thought. You guys are just, I love you so much. Thank you. So with that said, what am I saying? What am I saying? Okay, yes. So then once you finish the call, or the audio submission as we like to call it in the podcasting world, send it to paladinolive@yahoo.com, paladinolive@yahoo.com. I would then convert it into an MP3 file, thanks to cloudconvert.com. What an efficient website. So use that if you want to convert files for anything you do out there. So I'm giving them a free plug because of their site is so helpful to my show. So I thank you so much, cloudconvert.com. With that said, thank you again so much for interacting with me and being so loyal to this show as long as you have, keeping it in a decent status, you could say. Hopefully tell a friend or 2 or 20 to make the show grow, because it hasn't really grown. That's one thing. It's in a good position. It's maintaining its spot, you could say, but it hasn't grown. So to help it grow, yeah, please share the show, retweet, tell your friends, your family members if you could. And, well, hopefully the Vikings can get things back in order soon. Skol, and we will talk to you in a week.